how's it going?
It's okay.
Yeah, what's going on?
Like everything. I have so much going on, and work, life, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed and very full, very full.
Yeah. Oh man, well, you know what? You are so organized, and seriously, you do so well under pressure. I know you're gonna get it all done.
That is a great confidence boost. It may not reflect in how I feel about it, but thank you.
Yeah. Hey, while I've got you here too, do you think I could get your help with the project?
Sure. Felt like you were asking me at work, and I am just like,
It was a little triggering.
A little bit.
I love like burnout as our topic, but I've got to say, burnout, like this topic also has me a little triggered. I have all these like horrible memories of being burned out and like feeling like I had no control over stuff. And so it's a little triggering to like have this be our first topic to talk about on the podcast.
I agree. And it still feels like I have all the feels. Like it's even though like I'm not there. And again, I'm recently departed. And so maybe it's still some of those, what's that phrase? Vestigial tales, right? Of emotion kind of connected to it.
That was so like that vocabulary. God, that is so impressive. I'm like, hold on a second. Let me get my phone. I gotta look this up. That was fancy.
What? I kept hearing it at work. So like they're using this fancy language in the workplace, right? But it is kind of like this shadow, a phantom, right? Like it's burnout is lasting longer than the moments that created
it's like
them,
trauma,
right?
It almost feels traumatic. Like it kind of sticks with you. And yeah, absolutely.
And okay, so I've never obviously lost a limb, so I can't say that I can sympathize or empathize with it, but it makes me feel like burnout added itself to my body. And in the process of trying to acknowledge and remove, it is like I can still feel it, even though it is not being fed.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all of the work to no longer feed the creature, whatever piece is like has been added. It's amazing
imagery. Yes, I see that. Yeah, because I know that feeling. Absolutely.
Because you're just part of its churn. You're part of its wheel of nonstop. Like a Ferris wheel you can't get off.
I know.
And if you're afraid of heights, right? You're like, how did I get here?
Yes.
This is moving so fast.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, God, it feels like we've started our episode already.
It does.
Did we do introductions?
Did we accidentally do that? Hey, Holly, tell the people who you are.
Hey, yes, thanks for being here. This is our very first podcast episode. I'm Holly. I have worked alongside HR long enough to know that they can't fix everything, which is why we started this podcast, right? Because we want to call out the madness. We get it. We have been there, and we want to help you survive it. Amber, tell the people who you are.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And Holly and I have both come from previously being federal employees, so we are speaking from the other side, so to speak. But because we have the connection to what you might be currently going through, being in like a corporate workforce, or not even corporate, it doesn't even have to be that, right? We're talking all workspaces, because though we might have left the federal workspace, we are still in workspaces, right? So, and so like just want to call out and acknowledge that, but. I'm Amber, and I am a certified coach who I'm trying to help people find their calm and clarity in the chaos, whether that's a workspace, whether that's personal space. So I'm trying to be here and make sense of the madness together and how we can survive with our sanity somewhat intact. Like if
Somewhat.
that's even the goal, right?
Who
Like
knows?
maybe we want to hang out here in the
Yeah.
insane, and that's fine, right?
Let's
It's
have a
all a
good vent.
choice.
Sometimes a good vent sesh is like it feels very cathartic. Like that sometimes
Yes.
that's enough. But yes.
Exactly. As long as the vent sesh, I will put this caveat. As long as the vent sesh is something that you can speak and then move on, right? And
Yeah,
not
right.
sit in the vent. If
Yeah.
you go from one vent to another vent to another vent and you stay in the vent, it's
Yes.
kind of what we're talking about here with burnout, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How can you effectively use these tools that we have to get yourself to get kind of like past
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I think that we started kind of saying that we're curious around whether burnout is something like you can get past and what what it looks like on the other side when
Yeah.
you have the mark, like Harry Potter, right? Like
Yes.
we've got the mark.
Right.
I have a
Yes.
burnout mark. And so like it's like can does that go away? Like if you have the
Yeah.
mark of burnout?
I know. And it's so funny because I know we were talking, yes, we come from like this corporate kind of background, but I still remember, oh my God, Amber, I still remember my very first big girl job. And it was my very first like
Mhm.
office job. I was like 22 years old or something. You know, just a baby. And
Yes.
I remember my mentor, the person I was sitting with who was like walking me through the job and, you know, showing me the ropes, so to speak. I remember one time she pulled up her calendar and it was like my mind was she had all these colors, all this organization, but it was just like overwhelming. And I remember she was showing me and telling me like the meetings that I was going to go to with her and stuff like that. But I remember thinking too, like, what the heck is this? When is this woman going to take a lunch? When is she going to do anything? And then it wasn't until like actually I left that job, Amber, like it was years later that I realized that moment where she pulled up her calendar, it wasn't to like show me what meetings we were, it was to like tell me how busy she was, to like show me like this is the expectation, that this is what it looks like for you. If you're not this busy, if your calendar isn't this overbooked, if you are not skipping lunches and running on caffeine fumes, like you're not a good employee. Like she was giving me insight into the workplace culture on day one. And
Mm.
like it should have been a red flag, but like you're so young, you're so green. Like, and I just think like, does everybody get like, does it start that early and then we just normalize this, right? Like you go from one job to another and it feels like we just are all now used to the fact like this is just our normal. It feels sick. It feels toxic.
Yeah, right? Like that the hustle, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
so the hustle, which is just to like load everything that you can possibly carry.
Yes.
And when I think of it, I think of the memes around like carrying all the bags of groceries in one
Yeah.
trip.
Oh my
And it
God.
is like, who can do it? And it's like the goal
Yeah.
to like load every single bag
Uh-huh.
until like if you're using the plastic bags, right? Like that plastic is ripping into
Yes.
your arm,
Yes.
or
Oh,
canvas, right? You know, for your reusable bags,
yes.
and it's just ripping into your arms, and you're just like, that's fine. I'm still gonna make it in one
Oh my
trip, and it's
God. So
like, and it
true.
creates this like, I'm gonna do it in one trip, and I see a connection with this and like how burnout works. It's like I'm
Yes.
gonna, or the hustle, right? Like in just in
Yeah.
terms of how we get here and how easy it is, because it's like almost like we're challenging ourselves, and
Yeah.
then we just keep challenging ourselves and
Hmm.
challenging ourselves, and like because we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it better than the next person, and we're gonna do
Yeah.
it better, and so we just keep like loading on either work, expectations, um, uh, everything that feels like is the motivation for why you got yourself in that place.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I my arm is hurting now from like the imagining of all carrying all the groceries.
Remembrance of our grocery shopping day. Oh my God. So it's so funny you say that. I like that visual. That is such a good visual. Oh my God. And it does make me think too when uh oh my God, like I just had like a total moment where like it's on the tip of my tongue and it just like bloop, right out of my brain. What exactly was I going to say? It felt really insightful. Like I was going to have some golden advice to share.
Yes.
Dang, it's gone now. I'm sure I'll never get it back either. I'm at that age now where like once it's gone, it's gone. I don't think it'll come back to me.
Right.
We'll be lucky if by the end I have any like little bit left, but it's gone for sure. Proceed on, please, my very smart friend.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just going to keep leaning in. I don't know why Harry Potter's on the brain today, but like, it's just like the Quidditch. That's the little, the snitch, right?
Snitch. Thank you. Yes.
Oh,
so that would have killed me if I didn't think of it.
Right. The golden snitch. And so like your thought is this golden snitch that it's just flitted away and we can chase it if we want, but I don't know about you. I'm not athletic. So it is. Once it's flown, like I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
See ya. Yeah. All right. Nice to know you.
Yes. Nice to know you. Yes. So I believe that it was like it had all the insight and all the amazingness, but it was too big for this podcast. And if you dropped it, we would have just incinerated.
Probably. It was that good. I'm certain. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was like it was good. It was that good.
Yeah. Now we're just going to incinerate into fairy dust and just kind of sprinkle ourselves around. Yes. Snort. 100%. I got a snort. Got the snort. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, incinerate, burn out. I mean, I'm just making all of the
it's like it was meant to be or something. For real, like, so I know we did like a little funny thing at the beginning of like adding one more thing to your plate, right? Asking you to do one more thing. But Amber, I know you've had this because I know you. Like, haven't you had people who flatter you in an effort to convince you to take that one more thing on? Like, they know you're overextended. And then they like, oh, but you're so good. Like, nobody else can do this, blah, 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 blah. And like, so you have this reputation for being dependable, for being organized, being whatever. I hate that. I hate that guilt trip that people send you on because that reputation does feel important to me. But then at the same time, I'm like, how do you put up how do you put up those boundaries? It's so boundaries maybe needs to be a whole episode in and of itself because I feel like that is a whole rabbit hole. But like, you always think of that with burnout. Like you need to set up healthy boundaries for yourself to protect yourself,
Yeah. And it is like, it's master manipulation.
It is.
To kind of do that ego stroking. It's like, hey, I recognize that you're, good at these things. And though we can recognize it, like it still works. Like, I'm like, you're not wrong. I am good at these things. Thank you for recognizing them. Right. And so then the next thing I know, then I am like, okay, you're not wrong. Right. Like there is something for me in the logic of it. Like if it passes the logic test, which is absolutely true, right? You're right. I am the person who can do this. And if there is no other person, right, around, well, then I feel compelled, right? Like I am the only one. And then it isn't until I'm already doing it that I'm like, I got lured. And I accepted it. And yes, it would be wonderful, like, to explore the boundaries around like how to say no without feeling that guilt of the knowing that there's nobody else who can do this. Right. But that's the question. Like, why is there no
Yeah.
one else who can do this? Why are we not
Yes,
talking about that?
exactly. Yes.
And so I don't feel that question in the moment because usually there's an urgency, there's a need, there's a requirement,
always an urgency, always a freaking emergency. God,
always, right?
yes.
And I think there's in fact, an entire other episode about the urgencies that go nowhere, right?
Yeah,
like the amount of effort and urgency on like you get it done and then nobody's using it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole other triggering
don't get us started. I know. Oh my God.
On urgency and true urgency. And emergencies for things, but I do. Okay, and there's my golden snitch. Okay,
I'm actually glad that we've both had this moment because I feel less embarrassed by it because I'm like, we professional podcasters here. We know how to do the thing. And then now it's both gone for both of us. Well, maybe this is a good time to go into the story that was shared with us for this episode. Because I think this is going to, Amber, I totally see myself in this story. I think you will too. Like, it's very relatable. Very relatable. So let me, okay, hold on. I got to make it way bigger than this. My eyesight is not good for this. Okay. 18 font. Here we go. Our team was short-staffed for months. We're already a small team, but what was supposed to be a team of 5 was only 3, and we were all running on fumes. Every email was marked urgent, Amber. And for me personally, I was helping with senior work just to keep things from collapsing because that's what good employees do, right? It started small. I was just trying to be dependable. I was staying a little later here and there, skipping a few lunches, saying yes to extra projects. But before I knew it, I couldn't shut my brain off anymore. I would be sitting on a couch or laying in bed and still stressing about work and deadlines. And one weekend, I caught myself answering emails to get ahead. How many times have I know me, I am so guilty of getting ahead. Right? And I told myself I was going above and beyond, but when is beyond beyond? After a few months, this was my new normal. Finally, they posted a position on our team and it was a promotion. And I thought, okay, perfect. I'm already doing this job. I might as well get paid for it. Logical. Right? Makes sense to me.
Totally.
Right. So I apply, I interview, and I nail it and I get the job. Awesome.
Yeah.
And my boss congratulates me. She says she's proud of me and knew I would do great things. Here we go. Amber, do you sense where this is going?
I do, but I just want to kind of live in the moment of the person getting the promotion.
It's like I see the train wreck happening. I see the bus coming towards us. Right. Then she says, now that you're the senior member on our team, I'm going to need more from you.
More?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, what the actual heck? How much more could I give? What weren't you getting before? It was such a gut punch. And honestly, I should have seen the warning signs months ago. But now I feel like I owe my boss and my company something because I got this promotion. And I felt so trapped. I was too exhausted to look for something better, but too scared to just walk away. And I realized I mistook survival for success. Amber. Doesn't oh man, this just kills me.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. Like so when when you were talking about and here's more, right? Like and this progression of where this person was already working above where they currently were,
right?
Applied for a job to kind of like match the money to where they were currently working, to then just be told that there's more, makes me think of the advice that we are given to like work, like the expectations around dress or work for the job that you want.
Yes.
Not the one that you have.
Yes.
And so, but then when you actually get the job that you're doing the work for, then automatically that scale gets bumped up. But instead of you having the power to determine what it is that more equals, in this story, I'm hearing that it was already decided, that they set that, like, oh, you're already doing more, you can take on more.
Right.
And
exactly. There's always a risk involved. Like, we've all learned this lesson the hard way. The reward for doing more is getting asked to do even more. And and that's why suddenly all these creative, innovative people, when you have these special assignments, when you have these projects that are great opportunities for people to sort of flex and, stretch themselves, that's not enticing anymore. I've got so much on here that would just be one more thing to add on. And yes, it's great exposure. Yes, it's a great development opportunity. Yes, it's all these things. And people, ordinarily in a healthy environment, people would be like, heck yeah, I want that. I would love to learn a new system, work with some new people, get some FaceTime with people, whatever. But in these, we've created this culture where we, applaud overwork, right? And so people see that and they think, well, the only way to get ahead is by burning out. We saw this, okay, I'm calling this person Brenda in my head. So let's just call her Brenda. This is Brenda. We see Brenda get this promotion, but we saw how burned out she got to get there. Is that the price for success now? It sends a bad message,
It does. And then to offer congratulations for getting the promotion in one breath, but then really kind of stack on more. How can Brenda even enjoy what she's earned? There is no kind of sitting back and go, there's no celebration involved.
It's so tragic.
Right? Because the celebration is the fact that you get more. And so I would love to imagine for Brenda, because we can probably guess what the more is, right?
Yeah,
but I would love to imagine for Brenda that the more is actually more personal development time, more lack of expectation time, right?
That's our coach. That's something coach would say. Absolutely. That's a coach take for sure.
But it's a wish for Brenda, right? That 100%. We can kind of in this story, because we know that it's not the answer, but the wish would be to be appreciated for the work that you have put in to get that role. And then let Brenda be in the role for a bit. Right. And then the more is hey, congratulations on the position. Now you get more professional development time. Now you get more. Right. That would be so lovely. But again, this is, dream world here in terms of what that more is.
And let's not forget too, okay, so Brenda got the promotion. That's awesome. Great for Brenda. But that still leaves another vacant, the vacancy is still there on the team. It was supposed to be a team of 5. It's still a team of 3, even with her promotion. So it doesn't address the chronic understaffing issues. And then on top of setting these unrealistic expectations. And whoops. We're back.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, that totally cut off my momentum there. So back to you, Amber. You take it away. What kind of great coaching insight do you have for us?
Okay, well, you were talking about the environment, right? So we are recognizing that Brenda is probably not the only person in this environment that this is occurring, and if she's got this promotion, then we can probably also assume in a team of the small team that she's going to still be doing the job that she was doing before.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, right. And so then it's more. So it's the previous job. It's this new job,
New job.
and then right, air quote, new job, because is it really new? Like if she's already doing it, she's
Yeah.
right. And so she's maybe now being compensated, but then having more added. So then it's just putting her at a deficit again immediately. So once she feels like she is resolving the deficit of the money and the work, then there's more that's added to that. So so that is a terrible cycle that Brenda could be stuck in. And so it is really, really difficult to understand and know who you are within that, and you can lose yourself. And so that the unhealthiness, right, of being able to, if you're, asking for the coach perspective, I'm going to always bring in kind of self-care and how we can be taking care of ourselves during these
100%.
moments, because burnout is essentially you not taking care of yourself. And so there is some personal responsibility in it, even if the organization is kind of like what puts you in the spot. I do want to call out that self-care is still ultimately our responsibility, right? To kind of take care of ourselves. And so there's a lot of like the motivations behind how we got there, right? Again, if it's our ego, if it's our like how did it pass our logic test? Like how are we convinced that this was a good idea, right? Or the promise that it's going to give us access, exposure, because this is how I want to be seen in the organization, right? Like all of those answers for yourself kind of shape how you got there. And so it is so it's so difficult because these are all things that are personal and important to you, right? Like I want to be seen as dependable. I want to be seen as, the person who can do this job. And I want, right? Like all of those things are not wrong. And they are, they shape who we become at work. But then it's when that gets out of hand. And so I, kindness for the fact that that this is really kind of painful to hear at the same time, that not only is there an organization responsibility, but a personal one as well, to try to get ourselves through. So the question then would be is what are you trying to prove? And so in wanting to know what you're trying to prove will kind of help explain your motivations, how you got there.
Absolutely. And that's probably like a pause moment, right? Like taking time to rest. And I know there are like lots of different workplace environments where rest is seen as lazy. Like when you take your leave, the leave you've earned, it's kind of held against you in a way. Do you know what I mean? But it's not lazy to take rest and to take a moment and pause and reflect on those things. Like, what was your motivation? I can empathize with Brenda where I can see where she wanted to be known as being dependable. She probably wanted to be known as being like an SME and whatever this was, because again, she's doing work that is senior level work that was above her and things like that. So she's seen as a, bright, intelligent person, and wanting to protect that. Keep that reputation intact. But the motivation is going to be different for everyone. That's so true. Like burnout there's not a one size fits all solution. And I think a lot of companies too that always are like, oh, let's talk about burnout. Let's address burnout. Like it feels so insincere to me, because I'm like, you can't just put together a pamphlet and call it good. Like that does nothing. I hate that. I hate it so much. Sorry, it's gonna enrage me for a second.
No, that's kind of why we're here, right? Is because these are it is the irony behind programs or things that are put in place to from a workplace perspective to put burnout at the top of the we're going to address this, right? And have initiatives and ways that we're going to address it, when the reality is that that's addressing it means that you need to address it at the root of how it started. And so sometimes it's workplace culture. Sometimes it's one
ingrained
person.
In the culture. It really is. A lot of these issues, it is ingrained in the culture. And yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had supervisors who are like, don't feel compelled to answer emails after hours or don't work on the weekends and stuff. But then I come in on a Monday morning and I see my manager's been sending emails at 9 o'clock at night or whatever. Like, like they're not, they don't embody what they're preaching to us. And eventually that pressure gets pushed down. Like we feel it at the employee level. So it's absolutely a cultural thing. You can't just you got to practice what you preach here. And again, I guess that's why I just feel like a lot of that stuff, it feels so insincere to me. I don't know.
It very well could be, but I think that's where that self-care part comes in, right?
Self-care. We can control that.
Right. But to your point, right, this is all a choice, right? So because you chose, or in your experience in your head, or in Brenda's experience, right, like that, there was a choice made to not partake in that. And then, and there was a choice by the manager to do that. And then there's messaging and all of that. And so it's all about the choices that we make. But if you are feeling in the choice that you made that you had made a mistake, then that could be part of your answer to what are you trying to prove? Because then why would that bother you? That somebody else had made a different choice than you in that moment. And so it's all about, again, like, if you feel like this has impacted your reputation, if this is right, like this is your motivation behind why, and then why you might feel that you are on the outs of kind of what's happening with the workplace culture. Hustle, right? You're like, I chose to not carry all of my groceries in one trip.
Yeah. And that, what was that meme that you always start, like the it's fine, it's fine, like always.
Everything is fine, and you're surrounded by fire.
Totally fine. My God, my favorite meme, sorry, since we're talking memes for a second, you're going to know exactly what it is as soon as I say it. But flames on the side of my face.
I don't actually know that one. What is that one?
All right, it's from Clue. Remember Mrs. White? Flames on the side of my face, heaps of flames or something.
God, I haven't seen Clue in so long.
Oh my God.
Tim Curry. I do love Tim Curry.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
Dang. No, I mean, that's how flames on the side of my face. I always think of that when I think of Burnout, because like that's how I feel in the moment when I get asked to do one more thing or whatever. It's like I do feel like the flames, like, I'm surrounded in flames. But you're right. Like, we can't fix this. Like, as an individual, we can't fix a broken system. Like, we, what is within our control, and like reflecting on those motivations. I love
because
that.
That's the only sense.
Different for everybody, right?
It is.
It's so,
and it's the only power that you kind of actually have in that scenario, right? Because one person does not have the power to change an entire culture or entire system, right? Yeah. And so sometimes that power doesn't have to be like, I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to tell everybody I'm not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like
it feels good in the moment, but it's not a long term. Not a long-term solution.
And if you're doing it as a reaction to being asked to do something, then that's also still not getting to the core as to why you're saying no, right? Like that you're still not identifying within yourself who you are in that workspace and what your motivations are. So if you are consistently just reacting. And I love that you might hear this a lot, because it's one of my favorite phrases to use is the, I have your power, right, to choose how you respond versus react. And so, because there is such a difference when a reaction usually comes with no thinking. It is just like that, like what the knee jerk, right, kind of reaction where you're just like, oh, like I'm immediately like, oh, that was a punch to the gut. And that would be more of a reaction. And if you kind of let yourself ride the reaction that you're feeling, so if you're feeling the flames and then you respond, right? Or if you have
Yeah.
not a respond, but you react in the way that is like being fueled from the flames, that instinctual, that might not work out so well for you, because you are you're recognizing and acknowledging that you have the emotion, but you're not understanding the motivation behind it. And so if you can do the work of what you're trying to prove, have the thought to go, I want to respond. So a response usually comes with the time, the thinking, the wisdom that you have about yourself and where you're trying to go. And so I see a lot of reactions, right, to burnout. I'm not taking on. I'm not doing this, right? You're kind of like digging into the no. But then you get asked, well, why no? Why? Or no, you're going to do it, right? You know, that kind of like, and it causes reaction upon reaction. So the reaction of inflammation and that inflammatory is going to create a reaction in someone else. And then you're all kind of operating in a whole burnout cycle, but just having reactions firing all over the place versus response. And so it is not about squashing the emotion or squashing the flames. It's just kind of going, you know what? This caused me, my face is on fire. I'm not good at right now, right? Like, turn off your camera, turn on, like, do something, like, pretend that you've got pretend that you've got the, I can't hear you, right? You know, do the,
I'm getting pretty good at that too. Yeah, I don't know if I still have the skills anymore, but at one point I was like practicing, and I got pretty good at the whole like I can't hear you. Yeah, I got pretty good at that for a while. I don't know that I have the skills anymore, but yes, that's worth working on.
It is, and it's worth kind of like building in the time, right?
Yes,
to give yourself
a moment. Yes.
And it's like, not from this place of flames on my face, right? Like, give myself the time to, you know, think about it. But anyway, so we're still talking. Look at all of the imagery around burnout and like where it can take you. It can take us to workplace culture. It can take us to like kind of the difference between reacting and responding. It can take us to like
the boundaries. Oh my God. All of the things. It kind of touches all of those things. Yeah. You guys don't have to let us know, like, what topic do you want to hear us dive into next? Because we've kind of like touched on some things, and I know we've got some ideas, some things in the works, but what does this spark in you? Like, what do you want to hear us talk about? We do also.
Yes,
go.
No,
you go.
I was no.
I think we're on the same.
I was yes. Yes. Because I was just about to say that you've got it, because we have this beautiful way that you can submit your stories to us, and so we have an anonymous Google form, and so we would love to hear your stories, share your stories, and then have a response to your stories, not a reaction, but a response to your stories. And so again, completely anonymous. And if you do include a name, we're going to scrub it. We're going to change it. We're going to do something, right? So we everything stays anonymous, but we would love your stories. And so we do have a Google form that I'm pretty sure is going to be somewhere down
somewhere
there
in here. We're going to link it somehow.
Or here somewhere. Anyway, you can find the thing. I'm down. Whatever. And so whoever our magic maker is, for making the link available, right? Like, it's going to be there. Again, we're podcast professions. And so,
Amber, should we share with them the fact that this is not the first time we've recorded this episode? That's how professional we are. We had to record it twice.
because we thought we hit record.
Yeah, first episode done.
First episode.
High five.
High five to the camera. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just want to see if this thing like showed up. Let me see if I can get the.
Wait.
Hold
on. Do you see it? Did we not record it?
Lo and behold, we had not. And so
very
profesh. So if you're feeling that we are your people, your vibe, your company here, right? Like we would love for you to subscribe, to hang out with us, to check out on the right. So tell us your stories so we can giggle about it and share our, experiences, because we do have a lot in our collective years, but we want to know.
Let us know we're not alone out here, like barely holding on to our sanity, right? We don't want to be, Brenda, none of it. We don't want to feel like we're alone out here.
No, we don't. And also, even though we are talking about it in a what might be like a office setting, we are 100% open. Like, it's all workspaces that we are talking about here. All workspaces. So if you work in an unconventional workspace, if you are, not in cubicle land office, kind of setting, if you work from home, right? And if you're a remote employee, that is still considered a workspace. And so we would love to hear from everyone on in terms of where you're I
would love to hear from like a teacher. Amber, can you imagine the stories like a teacher and educator would have? Like, I can't even imagine. So those would be wild.
I'm not sure I could ever be a teacher because my face speaks volumes.
It's hard to hide things, right? You're like me. You're very expressive. It's hard to kind of hide that.
Yeah. It is a skill, although I do have tells, right? Like, when I have been told that my tells are known when I am trying to hold back the anger. Or the pure, like, what? Like, and not wanting to make the face.
Or the
how do you but like how do you, like, I can feel my face contorting in the confusion of what is happening right now. So, but yes. So to close us out, Holly, I just want to share from that coaching perspective that you can't pour from an empty cup, guys. No. And you shouldn't be expected to. So burnout is not proof of your dedication, and it's actually proof of imbalance. So thanks for hanging out with us at Sanity Pending Podcast. I think this is the first time we've actually said the name of the podcast. So
no. We're Sanity Pending Podcast.
Sorry. So totally professional here. But thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Amber. This is Holly, and we're Sanity Pending. And this is your reminder that if you haven't throat punched someone this week, it was a good week.
Good week. All right.
See you next time.
Bye, guys. Bye.